friends, welcome back. In previous videos we are completed some problems related with the concentration terms. You solve yourself the problem which is present in this book, either state board book or NCERT book, because the numericals based on concentration term is very simple. Now today I am going to discussing with you the next and very important part of this topic, that one is called as the colligative property. The solubility concept is a different concept that we will discuss after the colligative property, but you listen, colligative property is the pure property of solution. Actually, what is the colligative properties, which are the important aspects of colligative property and how these colligative properties depends. Listen, firstly I will introduce you the colligative property is only shown by the dilute solution. Now what is the definition of colligative property? The colligative property is the property whose value depends on number of particle, not depends on the nature of particle. Means what? Listen very carefully. What is the meaning of colligative property? Once again listen. The colligative property is the property whose value depends on number of particle. Number of particle means what? It may be number of molecule, it may be number of atoms, it may be number of ions. If number of molecule, number of atom or number of ion increases, then colligative properties also increases. So listen. The actually word colligative property is derived from the Greek word, that one is called as the colligatus. Colligatus meaning together. Colligatus meaning what? Together. Colligative properties mean collective property. Collective property, and these are the property of solution depends only on the number of solid particle. So in your syllabus you have a 4 colligative property. The out of 4 colligative property, the first colligative property is called as, out of 4 colligative property, first colligative property is called as the lowering of vapor pressure. The first colligative property is called as lowering of vapor pressure. Dear student, the second colligative property is called as the, as per consideration of your syllabus, elevation of boiling point of solvent in solution. The second colligative property is called as elevation of boiling point, elevation of boiling point of solvent, elevation of boiling point of solvent in what solution. So this is the second chemical property. Now we are considering the third colligative property, that one is called as the depression of freezing point of solvent in solution. Listen, the third colligative property, that one is called as the depression of freezing point of solvent, depression of freezing point of solvent in what? Depression of freezing point of solvent in solution. And finally we are discussing the fourth colligative property. That fourth colligative property is called as the osmotic pressure. The next one, that one is very important related to this phenomenon, and that fourth colligative property is called as osmotic pressure. So these are the very important and very interesting concepts related with the colligative properties, my friends. So what is the meaning of colligative properties? Colligative properties is the properties whose value depends on number of solute particle, not depends on the nature of solute particle. Number of solute particle means what? Might may be number of atoms, might may be number of molecules, or might may be number of ions. If number of atom increases, colligative property increases, that is lowering of vapor pressure increases, or elevation of boiling point increases, or depression of freezing point, and so on. So these are the, so my friends, this is the very important part of your syllabus, because might may be happen in examination, they ask you the question on this. Another important things, you see varieties of multiple choice questions book. In that book they are given you such colligative property. So the first colligative property, that one is called as the lowering of vapor pressure. Now we are moving toward the first one, lowering of vapor pressure. So you got the definition of colligative properties. The properties whose value depends upon the number of particle and not depends upon the nature of particle, or independent on the nature of particle. The colligative properties are of 4 types, might may be lowering of vapor pressure, elevation of boiling point of solvent in solution, depression of freezing point of solvent in solution, or we people say that one is called like the osmotic pressure. Now these are the very interesting phenomenon. Now friends, I am going to discussing with you the first and very important colligative property, that one is called as the lowering of vapor pressure. The first colligative property, that first colligative property is called as lowering of what? Lowering of vapor pressure. So which are the important aspects related to this phenomenon? Which are the important concept related to this phenomenon? That one is called as the lowering of vapor pressure. See toward the board, this is very interesting and very important. Now my friends, what is the meaning of lowering of vapor pressure? How we discuss this? Now before going to discussing the lowering of vapor pressure, first you must know what is the meaning of vapor pressure. I will, before going to define the vapor pressure, I will explain you first, and then we will discussing what is the meaning of vapor pressure. So in vapor pressure, so we have a suppose for example we have two types of liquid. One is a volatile liquid, other one is the non-volatile liquid. What is difference between volatile and non-volatile? See toward the board. Suppose I am explaining in front of you what is the meaning of volatile liquids, and the second important things, what is the meaning of non-volatile liquids. Now we have two types of liquids. One is a volatile liquid, other one is a non-volatile liquids. Now what is the meaning of volatile liquid? Suppose we have this beaker, for example, dear friends, suppose we have this beaker, and inside of this beaker, if we are taken ethyl alcohol, if we are taken the ethyl alcohol. Now my friends, and suppose in second beaker we have taken the second beaker, and second beaker we have taken the glycerol means trihydroxy alcohol, both are the alcohol. What is difference between these two? The intermolecular force in ethyl alcohol is weaker as compared to glycerol, because intermolecular force in glycerol 3 hydrogen bonding is there. Now if intermolecular force is weak, suppose for example A is a one molecule, another A is another molecule, this is one A, this another A. If intermolecular force between these two molecules are weak, then what's happened? The one molecule easily escape from the other molecule, easily escape from the other molecule in a solution. It means that therefore what's happened, the molecule which is present on the surface area, that molecule easily escape in the atmosphere. Why? Because that produces is in the form of vapors, because that have a low intermolecular force. An intermolecular force is weak, it indicates that liquids have a lower boiling point. It means that those liquids have a lower boiling point that have weak intermolecular forces, and such liquid produces more and more vapor on its surface. But this liquid have a strong intermolecular force, they doesn't show the vapor. It means that those liquid which does not evaporate at normal temperature, such liquid is called as non-volatile, and those liquid which easily evaporate at normal temperature, then such liquid is called as the volatile liquid. Is it okay? So vapor pressure of volatile liquid is always greater than the non-volatile liquid, obviously na. There is no vapor for the non-volatile liquid, that's why how we discuss the vapor pressure. Now come toward the volatile liquid. Now dear friends, one point is 100% clear. So for discussing the vapor pressure, we require the volatile liquid, because volatile liquids have a vapor at normal temperature, non-volatile liquid doesn't have the vapors. Okay. Now come toward the next one. For example, suppose we have the next and very interesting phenomenon related to this. Now which are the important things that now come? Suppose for example these are the liquids, and suppose I have this is a benzene or any volatile liquid, the vapors present on that surface area, that vapors escape in the atmosphere. Obviously that vapors enter in the atmosphere, मतलब इसके surface पे जो भी vapors रहेंगे, that vapors easily enter in the atmosphere. Now obviously वो vapors atmosphere में जाएंगे, that easily enters in the atmosphere. Now if vapors enters in the atmosphere, then at that time equilibrium is not established. But what happens, see toward this board, I will explain you. Now dear student, suppose if I am considering the same beaker, inside of the beaker I am taken the liquid, and I close this liquid by using any jar. I close this liquid, okay. This is when vapor pressure escape from the vessel, that enter in the empty part of the vessel, obviously empty part of the vessel. But due to closed nature, the vapors, when concentration of vapors increases in the empty part, some vapors again condense. Is it okay? Some vapors again condense. I will explain you by using some simple figure. Listen. Suppose I have such type of jar. And inside of the jar, if volatile liquid is there, and if I close this jar, okay, then what happen? Vapor will be, when concentration of vapor increases, then at that time some another phenomenon will be start, that one is called as condensation, because some of the vapor start to condense, that again become back into liquid. मतलब क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे, जब आपके वेपर्स यहाँ पे concentration of vapors बढ़ जाएगा, क्योंकि अभी वेपर बाहर तो नहीं जा सकते, वेपर्स नेवर एंटर इनटू द एटमॉस्फेयर, कभी ये वेपर एटमॉस्फेयर में एंटर नहीं होंगे. सो वेपर कभी एटमॉस्फेयर में एंटर नहीं होंगे, इसका मतलब क्या होगा, व्हेन कंसंट्रेशन ऑफ वेपर्स इंक्रीजेस इनसाइड ऑफ द जार्स, then some vapor start to condense, then condensation will be take place. Then after condensation, what's happened, some vapor become the liquids, and vapor liquid, that means evaporation and condensation, that simultaneous going on. At one stage, the rate of evaporation and rate of condensation be equal same, and that state is called as the equilibrium state, because no more evaporation takes place and no more condensation takes place, and that state is called as the equilibrium state. At the equilibrium state, listen very carefully, at equilibrium state, the pressure exerted by vapors, on the surface of liquid, on the surface of what? Liquid. The pressure exerted by vapors on the surface of liquid, and such a pressure is called as the vapor pressure of liquid. Is it okay? Then how much pressure exerted by vapors on the surface of liquid, then such a pressure is called as the vapor pressure of liquid. So my friends, this is the very interesting and very important phenomenon related to your concept, that related to vapor pressure. So you got the meaning of vapor pressure. So what is the meaning of vapor pressure? The vapor pressure meaning when vapors exerted pressure, or the pressure exerted by vapors on the surface of liquid, then such a pressure is called as the vapor pressure of liquid. But at equilibrium, what is the meaning of equilibrium? The rate of evaporation must be equal to the rate of condensation. So this is nothing but the vapor pressure. Obviously, very simple concept. Volatile liquids always have a more vapor pressure than non-volatile liquids. Obviously, because volatile liquids evaporate rapidly at normal temperature, and whenever it evaporates rapidly at normal temperature, then simply we people say that volatile liquids have a more vapor pressure than what? Non-volatile liquids. So this is the very interesting and very important phenomenon related to this concept. Now friends, I am going to discussing the next point. That one is very important. Next point, listen very carefully. Now, what is the meaning of lowering of vapor pressure? Listen, what is the meaning of lowering of vapor pressure? This is the very interesting phenomenon. See toward the board. Lowering of vapor pressure means what? Now, suppose for example I have one liquid. Suppose for example I have one liquid, and this liquid is volatile. It means it have a vapor pressure. If I had, suppose I prepare one solution, and in that solution A plus B, suppose A is a solvent and B is a solute. What is the meaning of A? A is a solvent. What is the meaning of B? B is a solute. Solvent is volatile. It means solvent have its own vapor pressure. Solvent is volatile. Therefore, what we people say? Solvent have its own vapor pressure. But if in solvent, listen very carefully what I am saying to you. Solvent is volatile. Obviously, if solvent is volatile, suppose this is volatile solvent, it means solvents have its own vapor pressure. What is vapor pressure? The pressure exerted due to vapors on the surface of liquid at equilibrium. Such a pressure is called as the vapor pressure, because solvent is volatile. Now we are going toward the solute. Now suppose my friend, what about the solute? Solute is non-volatile. Is it okay? Solvent is volatile and solute is what? Non-volatile. Okay. Now what happened here? Solvent is volatile, solute is non-volatile. If now after addition of solute in the solvent, it becomes the solution. So solution is prepared from solvent and solute, but in solution, solute is non-volatile. So what happened in the solution? In solution, vapor pressure of solvent is always lower than the vapor pressure of pure solvent. Is it okay what I am saying to you? Is it okay? Listen very carefully. Suppose we have this is two beaker. Suppose we have a two beaker. Listen very carefully. In this beaker, pure solvent is present, and it have its own vapor pressure. Is it okay? Why? Because pure solvent is a volatile, and volatile liquids evaporates, and that exerts the vapor pressure. Now what happens? Suppose for example we consider second beaker. And in this second beaker, suppose we have in second beaker, we have a solution, that is A plus B. A is a solvent, B is a solute. Is it okay? A is a solvent and B is a what? Solute. Now but in this case, solvent is volatile. This is a solution now. Solvent is volatile, but solute is non-volatile now. So vapor pressure, this vapor pressure is something lower, because this is the vapor pressure of pure solvent. Listen very carefully. What is the meaning of lowering of vapor pressure? Suppose this is P10. What is the meaning of P10? P10 means vapor pressure of its pure solvent. And suppose for example this is P. What is P? P means vapor pressure of solution. If we consider P is the vapor pressure of solution which contain the non-volatile solute. Listen, in this solution, solute is a non-volatile. In this solution, solute is a non-volatile. So B is the vapor pressure of solution which contain the non-volatile solute. So dear students, due to addition of non-volatile solute, the vapor pressure of solvent in solution decreases na. Why vapor pressure of solvent in solution decreases? Because this non-volatile solute occupies some surface area. Obviously solute doesn't have any vapor pressure because solute is non-volatile, and after occupying some surface area, the vapors of solvent will be decreases because solute interfering in the vapors na. So that's way the vapor pressure of solvent in a solution which contain the non-volatile solute is always lower than the vapor pressure of its pure solvent. Its vapor pressure of its pure solvent. So how much vapor pressure is less of that solvent in a solution is called as lowering of vapor pressure. Is it okay? So how we define the lowering of vapor pressure? Lowering of vapor pressure we define like this way: when non-volatile solute added in the volatile solvent, the non-volatile solute added in the what? Volatile solvent, then vapor pressure of solution decreases. When non-volatile solute added in the volatile solvent, then vapor pressure of solution decreases, or vapor pressure of solvent in solution decreases. The decrease in vapor pressure of solution as compared to pure solvent is called as lowering of vapor pressure. Is it okay? The decreasing vapor pressure of solution as compared to pure solvent is called as lowering of vapor pressure. So my dear friends, this is P is the vapor pressure of solution. What is the meaning of P? P is nothing but the vapor pressure of what? Solution. And what is P10? P10 is the vapor pressure of P10 is the vapor pressure of pure solvent. P is the vapor pressure of solution. P10 is the vapor pressure of what? Pure solvent. Then dear friends, so lowering of vapor pressure is equal to, simply we calculate like this way. Therefore lowering of vapor pressure is equal to or lowering of vapor pressure is called as the delta P. Lowering of vapor pressure is equal to P10 minus P. What is the meaning of P10? P10 means vapor pressure of pure solvent, minus P means what? Vapor pressure of solution. So this is called as the lowering of vapor pressure, or delta P is equal to P10 minus P. So my friends, so how much vapor pressure are lowered due to addition of non-volatile solute of that pure solvent in a solution is called as lowering of vapor pressure. Is it clear 100%? मुझे नहीं लगता आपको कोई डाउट होगा अभी इसमें. इसका मतलब क्या हो गया, जो भी अब ऑब्वियसली ना, lowering of vapor pressure is one of the colligative property. So why we people say this is colligative property? Because this is the property whose value depends on number of particle, not depends on the nature of particle. It means how much lowering of vapor pressure is there, that depends on the number of particle, not depends on the nature of particle. So this is the first time very interesting colligative property, that one is called as the lowering of vapor pressure. Is it okay? Therefore delta P is equal to, keep in your mind, delta P is nothing but lowering of vapor pressure, P10 minus P. So what is the P10? P10 means vapor pressure of pure solvent, and what is the meaning of P? P indicate the vapor pressure of solution, and delta P indicate lowering of vapor pressure. What indicate delta P? That indicate the lowering of what? Vapor pressure. Now friends, now we are going toward the next one, that one is called as the next point of this topic, that one is very interesting phenomenon related to you. So which is the interesting phenomenon? That one is called as the relative lowering of vapor pressure. Now this is called as lowering of vapor pressure, delta P. Now what is the meaning of relative lowering of vapor pressure? Relative lowering of what? Vapor pressure. Listen very carefully. What is the meaning of relative lowering of vapor pressure? How we calculate? It is a very simple thing. If you want to define the relative lowering of vapor pressure, it is a ratio of lowering of vapor pressure. It is a ratio of lowering of vapor pressure to the vapor pressure of pure solvent. Very simple things. If you try to define the relative lowering of vapor pressure, how to define the relative lowering of vapor pressure? Relative lowering of vapor pressure is the ratio of what is the meaning, or we people say like this way, delta P divided by P10. What is the meaning of delta P? Delta P means the lowering of vapor pressure divided by vapor pressure of pure solvent. So which one is the correct definition of this relative lowering of vapor pressure? So this is the lowering of vapor pressure, this is the relative lowering of vapor pressure. Relative lowering means what? It is the ratio of lowering of vapor pressure of that solvent in a solution to the vapor pressure of pure solvent, or delta P divided by P10. This is called as relative lowering of vapor pressure. Now friends, these are the very simple and interesting concept. Now we apply Raoult's law for the solution, because Raoult's law is a very important. Raoult's law we apply only that time if the solution is dilute and that solution shows the colligative property. For the normal solution, see what is the meaning of Raoult's law. Listen very carefully. R-A-O-U-L-T-S, Raoult's law for lowering of vapor pressure. Now dear students, I will give you what is the definition of, what is the statement of Raoult's law. Listen very carefully. The law states that the partial vapor pressure, what is the meaning of partial vapor pressure? Partial vapor pressure means what? Listen, I will define you partial vapor pressure, because this concept already present in your 11th standard. The partial vapor pressure means what? Suppose we have a mixture of gases. You know, in atmosphere so many gases are there. In that, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, etc., etc. Now what is the pressure of that carbon dioxide in all the mixture of gases? That pressure is called as the partial vapor pressure. You got the meaning of partial pressure? What is the definition of partial pressure? The pressure exerted by vapors, listen very carefully, the pressure exerted by vapors or pressure exerted by individual gas in the mixture of gases. Is it okay? The pressure exerted by individual gas in the mixture of gases, such a pressure is called as the partial vapor pressure. Now dear friends, so what Raoult's law says that, according to Raoult's law, the law states that the partial vapor pressure of any volatile component of a solution is the product of, listen very carefully, the partial vapor pressure of any volatile component of a solution. Suppose for example, my friends, I will explain you, if we consider, suppose for example, according to Raoult's law, we have a two solution, consider a solution, so consider a solution made up from A1 and A2, these are the two components we mix together for the preparation of solution, A1 and A2. Suppose A1 is a solvent, A2 is a solute, and these two components we are mixing together, and both are volatile, both are volatile, because if it is volatile, then we discuss the pressure concept, both are volatile. Then suppose with a mole fraction, then what is the mole fraction of A1? Mole fraction of A1 is x1 and mole fraction of A2 is x2. You know mole fraction, that one is concentration term, we already discussed in the previous videos, x1 and s2, and suppose respectively, and P10 and P20 is the vapor pressure of pure component, and what is a P10? P10 is the vapor pressure of pure component of A1, which is not present in solution. And what is P20? Now this is A1 and A2, na, this is a solution, In solution, x1 is the mole fraction of A1, x2 is the mole fraction of A2. Now this solution is prepared from solute as well as solvent, both are volatile, na? Solute as well as solvent. X1 and X2 is the what? X1 and X2 is the mole fraction, and P10 and P20 is the vapor pressure of its what? Pure component, vapor pressure of its pure component A1 and A2. So my friends, therefore what is the meaning of, and see, according to Raoult's law, the partial pressure is the P1 and partial pressure is the P2. So what Raoult's law says that, therefore partial pressure P1 is equal to, P1 is the product of P10 into x1, P10 into what? X1. Is it okay? P10 into x1. Therefore according to Raoult's law, the partial pressure of pure component in a solution is the product of, the partial pressure of component in a solution is the product of pressure of its pure component into mole fraction. Is a product of what? Pressure of its pure component into mole fraction. Therefore P1 is equal to, it is not necessary to maintain, P1 is equal to P10 into x1. Therefore P2 is equal to what? P20 into what? x2. So this is the statement according to Raoult's law. So what Raoult's law says that, once again listen very carefully. The law said that the partial vapor pressure of any volatile component of a solution, the partial vapor pressure of any volatile component of a solution is the product of vapor pressure of that pure component and that of mole fraction, is the product of vapor pressure of pure component and mole fraction, or product of vapor pressure of pure component and what? Mole fraction. So this is the Raoult's law. By using that, we successfully consider for that solution we have both both are volatile liquid. Now friends, now this is the partial pressure. Now we calculate the total pressure. Listen very carefully. Now how we calculate the total pressure? Now friends, The total pressure we calculate by using formula PT is equal to, PT means what? Total pressure. Total pressure, that is P1 plus P2, obviously na. The P1 plus P2 means what? Partial pressure of one component. P1 is the partial pressure of A1, P2 is the partial pressure of A2. What is partial pressure? The pressure exerted by A1 in the mixture of A1 and A2 na. That one is partial pressure. What is partial pressure? P2, same way. Now what is the total pressure of solution? Total pressure of solution is the addition of partial pressure of both components. P1 plus P2, it indicates the total pressure. Now my friends, the same equation become, therefore PT is equal to, what is P1? P1 is P10 into x1 plus what? P20 into x2. So by using this formula, we very successfully calculate the total pressure. But you know, for binary solution, you know very well, what you know, for binary solution, you know this concept. For binary solution, x1 plus x2 is equal to 1. You know this already completed in mole fraction, because in concentration term, the mole fraction of all the component in the solution is must be equal to 1. Therefore x1 plus x2 is equal to what? X1 plus x2 is equal to 1. Then the same equation we write like this way. Therefore x2 is equal to, what we become? X2 is equal to 1 minus x1. 1 minus x1. Put the value of x2 inside of this equation, 1 minus x1. Therefore PT is equal to, P10 x1 plus P20 in bracket write down 1 minus x1. Is it okay? Plus P20 in bracket 1 minus x1. The same equation become P10 x1 plus P20 minus, see this same equation become, therefore PT is equal to P10 x1 plus what it become? P10 x1 plus P20 plus what? P20 minus what? P20 into x1. Is it okay? P20 into x1. So you solve this equation, therefore total pressure is equal to P20 plus, then it becomes the P20 plus in bracket write down, this is the final consideration required to you, P20 plus P10 minus P20 plus P10 minus P20 into what? X1. So this is the way, by using that we calculate the total pressure. But total pressure for that solution in which both components are volatile. Both components mean what? Solute as well as solvent. So this is one way, by using that we consider the total pressure. Now dear friends, now we consider, this is a Raoult's law for volatile solution na. Volatile solution means what? Both components is a volatile. Now we are considering Raoult's law for solution of non-volatile solute. Now we are considering for solution of what? Non-volatile solute. For solution of what? For solution of non-volatile solute. Now friends, how we discuss the for solution of non-volatile solute? Listen very carefully. Non-volatile solutes. Now everything is same. This is A1 plus A2, but now A2 is the solute which is non-volatile. A2 is what? Non-volatile. Now friends, if A2 is non-volatile, then it doesn't have partial pressure, na? It doesn't have any vapor pressure. Why? It is a non-volatile. Therefore there is no need to discuss more things. Therefore what is the total pressure? Very simple. Total pressure we calculate by using relation. Therefore total pressure is equal to P20 plus what it become? P10 minus P20 into what? X1. This is a formula. By using this we calculate the total pressure, because, but you know very well, in this case A2 is non-volatile, therefore P20 is 0 na. P20 is equal to 0. Why P20 is equal to 0? Because A2 is a non-volatile, and if solute is non-volatile, then it doesn't have any type of vapor pressure. If it doesn't have vapor pressure, therefore value of P20 is equal to how much? It is a 0. Now put this value in equation. Therefore P is equal to 0 plus P10 minus 0 into what? X1. You put the value of this in the same equation. Then finally this become, that is PT, that is total pressure is equal to, very simple, P10 into what? X1. It means if the solute is non-volatile, then only total pressure depends upon the solvent, not depends upon the solute. So, these are the very interesting concept or very interesting phenomenon related to this, and remaining part of this topic is we will discussing in the next video. Thank you very much.